Hi everyone, welcome to From the Peanut Gallery. Today I'm going to go over just a brief overview of my 2021 books and everything. I know it's a little late in the game. It's middle of February. I filmed this in the middle of January though. But yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. My goal for 2021 was to read 52 books. So average about one book a week. And then I had like a 52 book reading challenge that had different like topics and just various things. Like one of the things was like, oh, like the cover has to have a shoe on it. And you're like, okay, I have to read a book with a cover on a shoe on it. So I did that. And I think there was something on Goodreads as well that like had those same topics. I got the stickers from the sticker patch, but I did find a community on Goodreads that had like those same topics. So I'm assuming she was aware of them or got them from there. So yes, that's what I did in 2021. And I ended up reading 65 books. A handful of them were audio. So I know some people say that audio doesn't count because you're just listening to it and you're not actually reading it. Whatever the case may be, however you view it, the total books consumed, whether audio or with my eyes, were 65. So I do have my laptop in front of me, and I do have a Goodreads account. If you guys want to follow me, I think you can. I don't know if that would interest you or not, but I'm just gonna go and look at it and kind of just tell you a couple of the highlights and everything from it. So, oh gosh, the shortest, I'm seeing a book that I read that I was like, I hated this book. I'm gonna start with the shortest book. It was a short story book called The Secret Lives of Church Ladies, and it was 179 pages. It was actually really interesting, and it's nice to read. I read, I think, 2 short story books. This one I liked way better than the other one. The other one was Karina and Sabrina or something like that. And it was interesting, but I just, for some reason, I didn't like it as well. Like it didn't like, I don't know. I guess I just didn't connect with it as much. But this one was much better, and I liked, it was like the same theme, but there was variety, so it was nice. And then the longest book I read, which is the book that I was like, this is awful. And I don't think I read it. I think this one I did as an audiobook, which probably made it more bearable than if I had actually read it. But this was Midnight Sun, which it's about 658 pages. I know some people loved this book. It's like the, what is it, 4th, 5th book of like the Twilight series. I don't know why I picked it up, and I was like, yeah, let me just try it out. I think I'm too old because I did like the Twilight books back in the day when I originally read them when I was like in middle school, high school. But I am far from those days, and not a fan. And I don't know if it's the story in general that I'm not a fan of now because of my age, or if it was just this book I felt like didn't really add much to the series. I felt like there was very little new information, and it just was like, okay, you just made me like not like Edward, because he seems very clingy and attached and unhealthy, and it was just all types of weird. So I think the Twilight series on its own was fine. We didn't need this book from Edward's point of view. Average book length was 345 pages. One of the books that I read that was the most popular was Gone Girl, which I But I remember this one correctly because I think I read a couple of her books. Gone Girl. I think that's the one with the wife that, like, yeah. If you know, you know. I was very intrigued, but I was also like, oh, damn, y'all. Like, this is not okay. And least popular book was Not Your Love Story. Again, it was another, I think I did this one audio too. Maybe I read it. I don't remember. I'd have to like look at my information. Not worth it. That's why it's the least popular. My average reading score for 2021, because I did try and rate all the books that I read, was 3.2. My highest rated on Goodreads, well, I don't quite want to, because I had a couple 5s and a couple 1s. So I'm gonna go over a couple, we'll start with the 1s first, and then we'll do the 5s. Because I like to end on good things. When people ask, like, do you want to hear I have good news and bad news. Which one do you want to hear first? I'm always like, give me the bad news first so that I can just like be done with it already. And then hopefully the good news outweighs the bad news. Sometimes it doesn't actually happen that way. You're like, that actually wasn't good news, but thanks, I guess. Anyways, that's just how I live my life. It's how I eat my food too. I always eat my, like, I leave my favorite item of food on the plate for last, and I'll eat my like least favorite item first. Okay, let's see. Over here trying to multitask. Oh my, okay, lots of books read. Wait, no. That means I should start there. My brain, y'all, my brain. Okay, so it looks like, did we not filter this? I thought I had. What's happening here? This is so much easier, like on my phone, but my phone is you. It's there. So, okay, there they are. So, let's see. I had 4 books that I rated as 1. 2 of them we've already talked about. It was Midnight Sun and then Not Your #Love Story. Don't read it. Don't read it. It's not worth your time. The other 2 was With the Fire on High. This book, I think if I was younger, I would have liked it. But I'm not 15 anymore. And so I was like, I think the writing just also, so I think the more you read, the more you kind of start to see, like, you notice different styles of writings a little more, you notice the quality of the writing a little more, and the quality of this writing was just not right for me. And then the other book was Chemistry. This was an interesting read, but it also took me a while to get through it. It was an audiobook, which audiobooks I feel like just take me a little bit longer to get through in general, but also it was one of those things where I'm like, I should probably listen to that. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I want to finish that book, let me like put it on while I do stuff. It was like, I should read that book. So it was semi-interesting. It was like it fulfilled one of my like topic things for my other challenge. So it was like a non-named narrator or something of that sort, like a narrator an unnamed narrator. So you don't know this person's name the whole time. She's just talking, and it's a she. She's just talking about her life experience and what's happening, whatever. So like I said, kind of interesting, but I don't know. It was maybe not I don't know. I gave it a 1. That's how I felt, okay? I gave it a 1. I'm not gonna explain myself. I gave it a 1, okay? So let's see. There are, we're gonna just move on over to the 5 books. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Hold on. I was like, that's too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I guess there were 8 books. This one needs to, oh, because I added it. Oh, okay. So I think 6, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. We'll keep track later. But 5-star rated books, Hotel on the Corner of Bitter and Sweet. Loved it. Loved that book. And it was an audiobook, which I feel like I tend to rate audiobooks lower than I would if I were to actually read them, because I'm still not a big audiobook person. But I actually really liked it. I thought it was a really sweet story, and the topic was very interesting. So it's about, I'm trying to remember, I think it was a Chinese and a Japanese. Essentially, it's a little bit of a love story between a Chinese and a Japanese during like internment camp time, and they live in like, I think, San Francisco area. And it talks about what happened and what one of the characters went through and how their love story was and all the things and just whatever, right? But it was interesting because I don't know, I don't know if they consider this as historical fiction or not, but I don't know like a ton about that time period, right? Like I know we learned about some of it in school, but it's not like you get all the facts and the details. So I thought it was an interesting topic because you got to kind of hear and learn and see what that time frame might have been like, and something that like you've learned about but not really been a part of. Another book that I did 5-star was The Girl in the Spider's Web. So this is like the 4th book in the Millennium series. So the first book is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. From my understanding, I think there's like 5 or 6 books, and the first, I want to say 3 are written by the same author, and then like this other author wrote the rest of them. So you can kind of see and tell that there's like a difference in the writing and stuff. That one I read this year. I gave it a 5. Oh yeah, I did. So I literally, it's like one of the newer books that I just read and gave a 5 to too. Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine. It was very intriguing, for sure. So I know it's been a popular book that's been going around recently. I actually like really enjoyed it. It was a little weird. I was like, what is happening right now? But then there's a little bit of a plot twist at the end of the book, and you're like, why did I not, like, you start to see it towards the end of the book, but you don't realize it at the beginning and like in the, you know, like what have you. So I was like, oh my God. So yeah, that was fun. Okay. So I watch, I think her name's Alexandra Rosalind on YouTube. She's a booktuber. She suggested this book called The Strangers, and it's part of a series. The series is called The Greystone Secrets, and I think it's like a middle grade book. I loved it, and I want to read the second book. I think I looked up to read the second book, but the libraries that I have on my like Libby app didn't have it. They either didn't have it or they had it like audio, and I was like, no, I want to read this book because I want to make sure that like if I'm gonna enjoy it, I'm gonna enjoy it. but I thought it was really good. I haven't read middle grade probably in a little while, and so I was like, man, that's a good one. It was very interesting, kept me, you know, it was one of those books that you couldn't really put down. So I was very excited every time I was able to like pick it up and read it. I was like, yes, I get to read this book again and I want to finish it. And then it leaves you hanging a little bit. So I'm like, I need to get my hands on that second book, which I think is called The Deceivers. And then there's the third book, which I think is called The Messengers. Maybe that's flip-flopped. I don't think so. I don't know. But that was good. I also read Just Mercy, which actually was a movie as well. I don't remember the man who stars in it as the main character. So I read that. That was a good book. A little heavy, bit of a heavy topic, but it was still good. This is another book that I loved, and it was like super popular and going around. The House in the Cerulean Sea. Loved it. I loved the like fantasy world, like magical world type element to it. I loved the topics that are brought up and kind of discussed in it and how they're portrayed. I personally, so it has some like LGBTQ representation in it. I am not part of the community, but it was great to see it in a book, in a way that it, you know, like it wasn't just like, it was great to see it brought into something and it felt so normal, I think is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, that was a good one. And then the last two, I do enjoy my romances and my little, what do they call it, chick lit and and stuff like that. My last two are romance books. One's How to Fail at Flirting, and the other is The Love Hypothesis, which now that I'm thinking about it and seeing them here, they are both The Love Hypothesis. Yeah, they're both centered at like a university or school, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so those were my top 5 books, y'all. And then I think that's it for my like 2021 like wrap up funness. Let's see. Oh, I was gonna tell you what my 2022 goal is. So I believe I made my 2022, oh there it is, yeah. I made it 70 books. So I got 65 last year. So I figured I would try and up the ante a little bit and do 70. We'll see. I mean, I don't know what life's gonna throw at me, but we'll see. We might adjust it, but for now it's at 70. I've currently read, okay, I'm gonna say 3, but because I was reading a book in December that like fell into January as well. So that's what happened with one. So there's 4 if you count that one. And then I am doing, I got these from Caffeine Queens. And they're like 3 different challenges. So this one has various like topics, so I'll just read a couple of them off. And then there's 3 blank ones. So it says year of birth release, so I would read a book I was in the year that I was born in. I was like, should I disclose? I don't want to disclose. Turned into a movie, fairy tale retelling, those types of things. So there's some topics on there, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 3 is, I don't know how to multiply anymore. 35. No. That's 6 times 5. 18. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and then 3 blank ones. Y'all, I tell this to everybody. I work in human resources. I'm trying to get into the career center world out of university, but we'll see how that works. But to get where I am today, the position I am today, I did not go. I could have gone down the business route. I chose to go down a business-based communications route for a reason. For a reason. Because I don't do math. We don't do math. As you plainly saw. So this one is oh, okay, I was like reading the instructions on here. I was like, what? So these have different ones. So book club recommendation, friend recommendation. Some are probably the same. So that one looks like it's the same. Yeah, so some of the topics are the same. Some aren't. Try an audiobook, debut author, banned book, those types of things. So, and then I have this third one, which is like the genres. So I don't know, we have options. I just, I didn't want to do the one that I did last year again. It was good because it like got me out of my comfort zone and I got to read things that maybe I wouldn't have normally read. But there were some of them that I was like, it was either too hard to like try and mix and match or do whatever, and others that I was like, what? Why do I need to find a book with a shoe on the cover? Like, it was just a weird type of thing for me. So I wasn't super, I don't know, I didn't love it, but I still wanted something to help me read books that I don't normally gravitate to, just to keep my book variance, I don't think variance is the right word, just to keep, you know, the books that I'm reading diverse. So that's what I'm doing for 2022. I'm probably just gonna like pick and choose and match, and you know, it'll maybe depend on my mood and stuff. I also have like 100 book reading scratch off poster that my sister gave me. And there's like there's a decent amount of like classics and stuff on there. So I am contemplating on making it a point to scratch some of those off the list as well. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I could tell you some books that I recommend. I do have my Kindle that I read most of my books off of lately, because I knew I was going to be home a little bit more and I wanted to be able to just like relax and like read an actual book. I do have a couple of them, but I don't really like to keep books. But the books that I just finished were The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Fantastic book, 5 stars. And Divergent. I gave it a 4 stars, but I really liked it, so I'm debating if I really want to go back and change it to a 5. I do have the second book for this, so I'm about to start that one and I'm excited for it. You know, I have my tea to, you know, keep me company and help me. For my fans out there, I'm a tea drinker. But yeah, so if you have any questions or anything, let me know. Comment down below some of the books that you've read that you've really liked. Let me know your thoughts on some of the books that I've talked about. You can look at my reading challenge and the books that I'm reading. I'll post my Goodread links. I'm assuming that's a thing. I haven't done that, I don't know. But so we'll do that. And then comment, like, subscribe, and let me know if you want to have more videos like this one, and we can stay updated. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well to see just what's happening in my daily life and what I might be currently reading there too. So have a good day, guys. See you later. Toodles noodles.